Good day all, and welcome to another one of my DVD Blu-ray release overviews. Today I'm doing kind of a theme thing, the Titanic. I guess to start off, my own personal interest in the Titanic. I've actually been obsessed with the Titanic since I was a kid, long before this particular movie came out. I guess it was 1985, I think, when they actually found the wreck and put out a documentary sort of putting out the wreck site after, what was his, I believe his name was Robert Ballard, found the wreck, and I used to watch that over and over again, so it kind of, you know, piqued my interest. There was also another movie that I actually had on CD compactive discs, I don't know if anyone remembers those, called Raise the Titanic, which I also used to watch over and over again. But today we're looking at three more recent releases. So to start off, yes, the classic love it or hate it Titanic. And this doesn't actually have the slipcover. I bought it on sale after that. It's also not the 3D version because I don't have a 3D TV and probably won't be getting one anywhere in the kind of near future. So for now we've got this one, Titanic, and I remember seeing this in the theater when it first came out. The love story, to be honest, I can kind of, you know, take it or leave it. But my interest in this one was the actual sort of depiction of the actual slow sinking of the ship, which even now I still find fascinating, the way James Cameron was sort of able to recreate that. And I never did actually see the 3D version when it was in theaters, which I intended to. But I kind of missed out on that. So when I do finally get a 3D television, then I'll get the updated version. But this one, it's got a fairly decent array of special features, and I think some of these actually go back to the original DVD release, which was more than 10 years ago. It's actually, for a while, it was unavailable. They discontinued the original release before it came out on Blu-ray, I guess to kind of spark additional interest or sales when the Blu-ray finally came out. And this also has, if you're interested in the actual history of the Titanic, it actually has a really, what I found a fascinating documentary, Final Word with James Cameron, where they try to reconstruct the actual sinking of the Titanic. And it's a feature-length documentary, so it's worth watching. Last year, when it was the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, I think, recorded on my computer, I must have about 15 different documentaries that came out, just because, you know, even now, almost 30 years later from my initial interest, I'm still fascinated by the sinking of the Titanic. And being a, well, I guess you could say a semi-professional historian, the sinking of the Titanic itself has become sort of one of my hobby histories. But I won't actually bore you with that in this video. It's just sort of meant as a quick overview. So Titanic, 1997. And then this is a pretty cool release. I'm not actually sure if this is still available. I got it about 10 years ago. Ghosts of the Abyss, also James Cameron documentary feature. And he's kind of like me, who was absolutely obsessed with the Titanic, and he wanted to go down to the wreck, and with, you know, decent camera equipment for the first timers, cinematic camera equipment, and actually go into the wreck and explore it. And this one, it also, not only does it explore the wreck, you know, in detail that we'd never seen before, but it also intersperses, excuse me, it intersperses kind of 3D animations of what parts of the ship look like and then what they look like now. Also sort of gives you a good background history. And also produced by Walt Disney Pictures, and I'm actually not sure if this was ever aired on TV. I think it was, maybe the Discovery Channel or something. I actually found it in a bargain bin not too long after it was released. Like I said, I first watched this in 2004, and I'm just looking to see if I can find a copyright date on here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this came out in 2004. The footage was actually shot in 2001. So, and also it's got special features with unseen or stuff that was kind of cut out of the original. It's got a documentary on the Mir submersibles, which were used for photographing the Titanic. It's got two versions. The original 60-minute theatrical feature, which I think this was originally on IMAX, is where it came from originally. So there's the 60-minute, and there's also an extended 90-minute version of the feature. So if you're interested in the wreck and whatnot, like I said, I'm not sure if this is still available, but if it is and you're interested in the Titanic, definitely something I'd recommend picking up. And then we have this, which is a British documentary. Was aired in 4 parts last year, or I think it was around last spring, around the 100th anniversary of the sinking. It's from the creator of Downton Abbey, and kind of a similar idea. You've got the servants and whatnot, then you've got the aristocracy and the rich and whatnot, so sort of formulated that way. The time frame of the 4 episodes are out of sequence, so you see different perspectives and, you know, different experiences of how the launch and the sinking of the Titanic went down. And Doctor Who fans of the current series, make note, this is also features Jenna-Louise Coleman, who obviously is in the current series of Doctor Who as his new companion. And maybe this, I think she was cast on Doctor Who actually before, around the time she was filming it, so I don't know if this really had any major impact on her being shot in the role. But it's a Blu-ray release, and like all British releases, this thing was not cheap. Well, I guess by DVD terms, I think it may have been about, what, $45 or something I spent for this. A little bit more than what you'd spend for 4 episodes of, well, say an American TV show. But it also has some decent features, obviously standard making of featurette behind the scenes. But for Titanic historians, this also has the curse of the Titanic sisters. As you may or may not know, Titanic was actually the second ship in a line of 3. The first ship to be launched was the Olympic, and it was actually the only one of the 3 that actually had a full lifespan of 20 years until it ended up, you know, rusting out or whatever and got scrapped. But even the Olympic was involved in a serious accident about 6 months or so before Titanic was launched. So that one, major accident but fixed. Titanic, we all know what happened there. And then there's the third ship, the Britannic, which never actually saw really any sort of use as a luxury cruise ship, because it was taken over during the First World War as a British medical ship, and then ended up being torpedoed, and it sank as well. So it's kind of the cursed Titanic sister ships, if you want to call it that. But anyway, so this one, and I'm a big fan of British TV. Almost everything that I've watched, with a few exceptions now, is British. So obviously it doesn't have the effects that you had in the Titanic movie, but for television it's not that bad. And the stories are kind of what's intriguing in this one, which is, you know, why I enjoyed it myself. But anyway, so that was my DVD Blu-ray overview of 3 releases related to the Titanic. So as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.